Oh yeah. It is definitely a matcha session over here. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm happy that we're all here together. This is going to be a pretty cool session over here. I think there's going to be a lot of lessons learned. It's going to be a relaxed session. It's Friday, right? All right. I'm looking forward to this one, actually. Hey, let's get going. Let's take a look at the markets. Let's see what's going on. Let's relax into it. Let's have a lot of fun today because it's Friday. It's been a tough week. It really has been a tough week. It's not easy trading conditions whatsoever. But everyone, I think by the end of the week now has kind of fell into the groove over here. A lot of people realized getting neutral and staying neutral right now is a really good place to be. And we'll wait for that clarity. There is some really important lessons to go over today. We're going to get into that. And then it's Friday, which means we also get to kind of, have other discussions, which is kind of cool. Just want to look to the calendar next week, by the way, really quick. We got, let's see, ISM manufacturing. And then we got non-farm payrolls first Friday of the month. Not such a big calendar. That's okay. This week was. All right, everybody, let's start and fall into it. We're going to go with our flow. Before we do, interestingly enough, I just saw here this morning, if anyone wants to look, here, I could go like this. Boom. Raul Pal was being interviewed. He was asked whether or not he believes, right? He was asked whether he believes that Plan B stock to flow model, the 288,000 price target is going to be missing on demand, or why the cross asset stock to flow that is a price target of what, $110,000 is more interesting, or the original stock to flow at 55,000. Raul, I saw it starting right there where this is set. Let me put the link in later. He starts off saying what he believes is going to happen. It's interesting. It's a short couple of minutes, and he talks about at what price different participants are going to be attracted to Bitcoin, whether it's demand coming from hedge funds, pensions, and ultimately government. He believes, he doesn't know on what time scale, but he believes actually the model probably is going to break to the upside. And interestingly enough, and what I wanted to share with you, he also goes on to say and talk about, listen, you just need to look at a chart to get your edge. You do not need volume. Right? Where have you heard that before? You don't need volume to take a look at a chart and get that edge. As a matter of fact, by taking away volume and taking away all that extra noise, you get a clearer read. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe he's been watching some of our live streams. I don't know. I watch some of his stuff on Real Vision, that's for sure. All right, let's take a look here at S&P 500. And you're looking over here, and we could see that overnight, and we came into the resistance with the lower highs, which gave an entry if you're taking it. However, if you did, you better already have moved your stop loss to break even, as you've come already into an area of support. Right? If I was in that trade personally, and this is all going to be very instructive this morning, I would not have taken any profit. I would have just moved my stop loss to break even and be looking to push it. And I would be expecting that I would get stop loss at break even. And that's a successful trade right there. Do you realize you could walk away from the trade without any profit and it's a successful trade? Yes, it is. Same thing going on the Nasdaq over here. By the way, I wouldn't have taken the S&P 500. The Nasdaq over here, same thing. Lower highs. You could see over here, this was that resistance. We talk about this. Was it in the live? Was it on the training session on Tuesday, or was it during one of the live streams this week? We talk about when you get that up bar resting on the support or resistance, and then immediately the trigger. Again, as you came right into the support, this trend line support, stop loss move to break even. That trade stopped out at break even. Good job, right? What about the Dow? We said this was the most interesting one. Right, of the three yesterday in the afternoon update. This is just simply, look, you're just seeing, what are you seeing? You're seeing exactly what you look for play out. Here you could see again into the resistance, the rejection. We're looking for shorts. This trade still, right? By the way, do you see you have a little bit more room over here? Is that 1%? from entry to the almost 1%. I would have taken a little bit of profit off there, right? Move my stop loss to break even, still be holding it. None of that is exciting, but it's still ultra important. Ultra important. It looks like today, mildly, markets are mixed going into the open, about 20 minutes to the U.S. markets open. And we might just have that. We might just have a choppy day, right? Now, people were asking, do we take the signals on the upside? And I was very clear in the afternoon video. I'm only looking on the downside at this moment until we regained some technical levels over here, right? So this seems pretty routine here, right? Pretty routine. Everyone following, everyone watching should have that type of confidence, certainty. That's a good thing to have in the markets, right? Does it matter if you take a trade and you get stopped off at break even? Absolutely not. That's some good trading over there. DXY, we've came back. We made the lower high. We talked about this in the afternoon update as well. We were looking for the resumption up. So far, we have a resumption up, right? Let's see whether or not this continues now, or we get a. Is it quite possible right now that is it a possibility we're rejected here? Come back in and actually take a look at the 94? Yeah, that's still a retest of the 94 support if that happens, right? That could very well happen. Look for the resumption up. Or if it's a failed breakout, it'll fall back in. We'll get clarity on Monday during the London session. By the way, this is really important, but don't be so aggressive on Sunday. When I say Sunday, I mean Sunday in Europe, Sunday in the US, but Monday in Asia when the market's open. Don't be so aggressive. That period's very noisy. Don't look to take your trades as the market opens because the market's open. If that's the case, you're treating that more as of a casino, but you're the participant. You actually want to be the casino. You want to have all those edges layered in your favor and be taking advantage through risk management of the market. Fall back on Sunday, right? Wait for the London session to pass. Sometimes there's good setups on Monday, but it's a difficult session to trade. Wait for our analysis Monday morning. Set yourself up, right, overnight on Tuesday. By the way, Tuesday is called Turnaround Tuesday for a reason. More often than not, that's what we see. I'd like to attack. I find myself more and more attacking on that Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday morning on London, especially right now where the market's not clear. All right, let's go. Here we are on gold. Look at, by the way, what do we got in here this morning? We got a big crowd, a light crowd over here, 1,200, 200 likes. That's a big ratio over there this morning. That's pretty good. Let's keep going. We got gold over here. What we were watching yesterday, gold. We were looking. By the way, I put it on Twitter yesterday, right? Gold, when it comes to fundamentals, major bull market still. Technically, no, it's not. Could that change by next week? Yes, it could. Right now, what are you looking to do? We're watching, observing, because this is how you train your brain. It's how you rewire your brain, because almost everyone's brain, you know, whatever the reasons why, I don't really care why, I just care what is. But, you know, for whatever reason why, right, this is why everyone tries to pick tops and pick bottoms. This is why everyone cuts their winners short and tries to hope and hold on to their losing trades. It's just human nature, right? But over here, we've broken down technically on gold, right? And you could see over here into the resistance rejection, right? It's a short I would never take. I'm not taking because I believe that it's still ultra bullish here on gold. And I don't know what's going to happen and when's going to happen. A headline could all of a sudden shoot this thing back up, right? But nevertheless, we're just watching it, right? And you could see over here, this would give you an entry short signal. Where's your stop loss? Well, where are you wrong? Would you put your stop loss right above that resistance? Or would you put it above the trend line? Or would you put it where you're really wrong, right? Somewhere around 1910. I would have it up over here. I would have it up here because I know if we clear back above 1900, I have it at 1904, the resistance, that I'm wrong on the trade. So that's where I put my stop. That's the difference. You get a lot of people who go with the tight stop all the time. Right? You get a lot of people go with the tight, and they're right on the direction. They get stopped out, and then the trade goes in their direction. Come on, be a little bit more flexible. Know where you're wrong. And here it's clear. It's not always clear. Sometimes this tighter stop loss is the correct trade. We looked at that yesterday at a couple of different examples on FX where we talked about here it's a tight stop loss. But over here, where you have not only one resistance, that trend line resistance, and then that big level. Why was this such a big level? Do you remember for weeks I kept saying if we lose 1900, we lost the bullish structure, right? So it's a big support. That means it's a big resistance. That's where you're wrong on the trade. All right. I wish I could catch up in the comments. I'll do that a little later after we get our analysis out over here. Here we go over on silver, right? Similar situation. Into the resistance, rejection, entry. Where do you put your stop loss, right? You're coming into, by the way, some area of support. It's horizontal. It's also that trend line support. Now, by the way, do you see this on the daily time frame? On the daily time frame, that closed above, right? But at the same time, on the 8-hour time frame, you could see that we were trading below it right there. So the market is definitely focused a little bit lower as well, right? So what do? Do you move your stop loss to break even just yet? No, not just yet. You have to be real. Where would your stop loss be? Are you putting your stop loss all the way up here where you're wrong? No way. That's way too far. That's way too far. It's not the same situation as gold. Do you put your stop loss over here? Still a little far away, I think. I think on this one, you have a tight stop loss. And if you're wrong, you get out, and then you look to get back in on another rejection over here. That's the difference between two similar setups that we're seeing on gold and silver, and the difference of stop loss placement. By the way, masterclass education shared for free. If you can't hit the like button, please go ahead and do that. I appreciate the support. It really gets me going. So please, if you appreciate the time being shared, show some love. Just smash that like button. Keep us going. Over here, we'll take a look at WTI this morning, and what? Still flatlined in no man's land, and there's not really much of an edge, right? And that's where we're just gonna leave it and wait patiently. If something comes up, what does something come up mean? I mean, if we come into a support line here, this would be a gift. I doubt that will happen. If any of those things happen, we're looking to lean in. Does everyone see that there's huge signs of we're entering back into there was definitely that V shape of a recovery, and now we're headed back down. But oil demand is not demand, but the price of oil is flatlined and stabilized. What kind of tell is that? I'm not sure. I'm just making an observation. So, and what about on the, anyway, that's it. I would only be looking to buy lower off support. I do think it's an uptrend since it went negative. But I would only be looking to buy off support. It's not really exciting. Bitcoin, so you could see overnight, we held and touched our 10,570 support line. That was broken yesterday and closed above. That resistance was flipped to support, and we have the retest. So what does that mean? A resumption off. Well, that's actually a nice setup over there, right? That's something, it's a Friday, but that's something that people might be interested in. Don't forget, Bitcoin's not closed over the weekend, right? Bitcoin trades 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's a beautiful setup, right? Could anyone see this, right? But like, do you see this little trend line over here, right? So it looks like if you get an entry signal, you would also be breaking above that trend line. And what would you be targeting on that? I would be targeting up here, right? This would be a really tight stop loss if you triggered on this trade. Tight stop loss. I'd be targeting into this resistance over here. That's a good, clean looking risk reward for just, I'll call that a scalp. For me, could you scalp on the 8-hour? For me, that's scalping on the 8-hour. Sorry, I'm getting distracted in the comments over here. Let me take a look. I just totally broke my flow. Yeah, no matter. I'll take a sip of tea, relax a second, and get back into it. All right, let's keep going over there. By the way, I'll chime in over there. Find a strategy that fits your personality. See, Kips, I'm not sure I agree about that. Find a strategy that fits your personality. I mean, listen, I come from a perspective that the markets are incredibly difficult. Actually, not even incredibly difficult, extraordinarily difficult. Extraordinarily difficult. That's why so few find success. You always hear about like, it's because of a lack of discipline. That's nonsense. Once you have a successful strategy, once you know what it takes to be profitable, you have no problem keeping discipline. The problem is people try to trade without having a successful strategy. Clean and simple. The problem is everyone tries to trade. They do it without a plan, like buying Tesla, selling Tesla. That's not a strategy, right? And not only that, people have no idea of what risk management is. They have no idea how to manage a trade. They're always focused in on entries, which is probably one of the least important things. It's important, but it's one of the least important things. Risk management, risk per trade is way more important. How you're managing that trade is way more important, right? And I don't think trading is such a thing where you're like, well, because my personality is I'm very willing to take on risk. And, I started trading, making on average 5 to 7 trades a day for years, right? Trading off the 3-minute time frame. That's my personality. Well, that fits my personality, but that's a losing strategy. It's highly intensive. The focus you need to keep up with that, you need to be on your A game for at least 3 hours a day. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. Yeah, you could have some good days, but overall, it's very difficult. Is trading higher time frames fit my personality? No, it fits my lifestyle. It makes it so that I could trade and also have a good lifestyle and not have to stare at the charts all day. I like that. What else? My personality? Well, I like to trade old setups all the time, 24 hours a day. Well, I had to learn that's not effective. That I have to avoid the Asian session. It's not my personality, but it's what works. I don't agree with that whatsoever. You want to find something that works. Rex, you have the opportunity, right, where you're already surrounded by a bunch of people, and you have a bunch of people who are following a working strategy and successful at it, making money month over month. That's absolute. Find another place, find another course on the internet, and don't forget, these courses cost thousands of dollars. Find another course that's basically given away for next to nothing, and find me any students are successful. Look, this is the markets. It's extraordinarily difficult. If someone is showing you a way that you could be successful, and then you have other people who are following that and doing that, forget what you think is your personality. You either see if you got what it takes or not. That's my view. All right. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. You go out there and you try this on your own. I did it. I don't think many people could do it. I don't think many people could do it all. It's extraordinary. Trading's not only extraordinarily difficult, man. There's some dark times that if you don't have the will, right? If you're not the type of person that could run a marathon without training, because you don't have that type of will and fortitude, there's no way you're going to make it on your own. There's no way. It's all good. All right, let's keep going over here. It's a small session already. So much information and so 24 minutes. Can you imagine the charts we've already covered? Oh my goodness. And what was been learned over there? Never give up. Never give up. You gotta, and then you'll for sure you'll come to that place where you're ready to give up. And if you can't give up. Yeah, we just looked at Bitcoin over there. I mean, it's being tested right now, Dr. Loco. It's being tested right now. That broken resistance at 10,570 is being retested. It hasn't been confirmed yet. It closed above on the daily time frame, which flipped it into that resistance into support, but it's just being tested. Right? Which means what? We have to see if it holds. Now, if you get a little bit of a peak down below, right? Does that mean that it has failed? No. What does it have to do? It has to close below there in the daily. It could wick down below. That's just a guide we use. It's not the exact price point. Often, yes, you do get that price touches it exactly as it did right here, as it did right here, as it so far has on the bottom. But you got to be flexible on that, right? And then it's only confirmed if you resumed up. ML, glad to do it. All right. What else is going on over here? I feel like since why don't you got the Euro US dollar, right? We looked at this, same exact thing. We see this setup occurring. The market moves in waves, right? Right now that wave is clear whether you were looking at either. By the way, right? S&P, Nasdaq, Dow all had the exact same setup. The Dow was the best looking of the bunch, right? I hope everyone is able to understand that and see that. It's not about taking every setup. It's about discerning which is the best setup that you want to take. Same thing, same wave on gold and silver, right? Same exact breakdown, retest, resumption out, right? Now over here on Euro US dollar, it's actually the same wave. We had the breakdown of the blue line. That's the 12-year trend line over there. The retest and the resumption out. Is that a trade you take? It's a good looking trade, right? It's a great looking trade. Not only that, does that mean that it's going to work out, right? Didn't we say on the DXY it's possible that we retrace back into the support? Yeah, you never know if a trade's going to work out. And people who are like, oh my goodness, you were wrong. What? Are you kidding? It's trading. It's risk management. It's not. You're not expecting nowhere close to even a high percentage of your trades working out. If you could be in that 55% of your trades work out, you're going to be making money. You'll have no lack of discipline. It'll be very easy for you. Could you get it a little higher than that? Of course you can. Of course you can. Could you be successful trading lower than that? Of course you can. Where would you put your stop loss over here? Right? Right? Would you put your stop loss over here where it's very tight? Right? Or would you be putting it up here where you're probably wrong? All right? Well, of the two, I would have my stop loss over here in this situation. Both are correct, but mind you, you're looking for that big counter trend on the move in the dollar. It's possible while you're below here. That means that we are looking for, are you targeting all the way down here? Yeah, that's where I would be targeting. It doesn't mean it'll happen. It doesn't mean that I won't move my stop loss in the process. And if you're looking at this, what is that? That's like a 1 to 3, 1 to 3.5 risk reward just into that area. Is that bad? Right? I would say both these stop loss placements are definitely correct. You could go with either one, right? But again, know where you're wrong. When you're entering a trade, you want to get out when you know that you are wrong. Both those trades are good. The person that uses this type of stop loss, by the way, they're going to have a lower win percentage. Now, there are some people who think that their personality is that like, well, I want to have higher position size because I want to make more money. Those people tend to lose a lot more money. Think about that. If you think your personality is that like, well, I'm always going with the tight stop loss because I want a bigger position size and I want to make more money, you're not making money yet. So what do you want to do? Do you want to make money or do you want to, Samuel, take the course. No bulls here, just traders. Ooh, like that. Let's take an Apple weekly. I can't look at a weekly chart, by the way, because a weekly chart just when I say I can't look at it, I mean not that I'm not going to look at it. Do I see a head and shoulders playing out on the weekly time frame of Apple? No. Because there's no right shoulder. If this was a head and shoulders taking place, you would have something like this. And then you would be like, Jordan, do you see possibly a head and shoulders taking place? And I'd be like, yes. But we don't have any right shoulder. You can't be looking that far in advance to try to make a pattern develop because you're missing out on basically, what is that? That's about 9 months of trading, So you can't trade like that. All right? Can't trade like that. All right, what else is going on? Let's take a look at the markets over here. All right, S&P, right? The play right now was short off the resistance right now, stop loss at break even. I always expect when I enter a trade, this is my mindset, that I'm going to get stopped out. I just always have that mindset. Why? I know where my stop loss is off the original analysis. Of course, as I get into that first support or resistance, I'm looking to go ahead and tighten that up. By the way, you don't go into a trade with saying, this is a 1 to 2, this is a 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio, therefore I'm taking it. I enter trades with a 1 to 1 risk reward ratios all day long, because as soon as I get to that 1, the first support or resistance, I'm tightening up my stop loss. Now what's my overall risk to reward ratio? It's drastically improved. Not only that, the trades that I take profit on, I'm pushing multiple support or resistance levels. So it's your overall, your risk to reward wants to end up somewhere around 1 to 2.5, 1 to 3. But that's not how you enter the trade itself. All right. Is there a head and shoulders on the DXY? Where? On the monthly chart? No, I don't trade off of higher time frames like that. I trade off of the 8-hour time frame. I think it's a big conflicting opinions, right? The 1 hour is going to conflict with the 4 hour, is conflicting with the daily, is conflicting with the weekly, and the monthly is just way too far out to even consider. You could trade off the 8-hour, and the 8-hour is providing a filter, a natural filter from the low price fluctuations that you find out on smaller time frames, right? A lot of people trading the 4-hour time frame, the 1 hour time frame, they get whipped around a lot over just normal price fluctuation. The 8-hour filters that out. The daily time frame is actually too large of a time frame where you're behind on moves. The signals occur too late. The 8-hour time frame gives you that precision. A monthly time frame, like, look, I just trade on the 8-hour time frame. So I only look at the 8-hour time frame. What I'm doing, again, is taking something so simple. Raul mentioned this right over here in that interview. Raul said, you don't need volume. It's just extra noise. And that's what I've always said too. It's the same thing on time frame. If I'm looking at multiple time frames, I'm confusing myself, right? I'm confusing myself because there's always going to be conflicting information. The markets are this complex organism. By simplifying it down, you give yourself a huge edge. What do we got in here? 600 likes. I think we're a little light on likes. I think it's the best session of the week. That's all right. I'm glad to be sharing the time with you. You guys all bought a huge ducky. We just got the thoughts on the 4-hour time frame. It's not as effective as the 8-hour time frame, right? There you go. So you guys all, by the way, as we stepped in this morning, yeah, Shane, I think there's 2 ways around it. I'm not sure. I think if you use Owanda, they might offer the 8-hour time frame. If Owanda's your broker, they might offer the 8-hour time frame. Look into that. I pay for the subscription on TradingView. I love the TradingView charting platform. It's like $7-8 a month to have access to the custom time frames and more templates. It's in my opinion, it's completely worth it, right? It's sure you can. Do I think GDX is a good way to buy gold? I don't. You know what? I think it's a good way to buy gold. I like the physical stuff. Right now, if I was looking to position in and buy like paper gold, right, I would be buying packs on BlockFi for sure. Oh yeah, that's a good comment too. And anyway, everyone should watch that. Let me go ahead and just include the link for later. And Raul says, about people over analyzing data, how it gets in the way. Awanda platform has the 8-hour included and seems to use the TradingView on their platform. Thanks, Danny. I don't know if you could use the 8-hour on a demo or not, but you should probably check it out. All right. Let's check out the Euro Australian dollar. The market's just opened 5 minutes. They're going to check back in them in 1 second. I don't think they've moved. I'm looking at prices right now. Nothing's moved in the last half hour since we've been online. Euro Australian dollar, we were looking at that resistance yesterday, right? And we were looking at if it breaks above this resistance, looking for a pulp. This, by the way, this is going back now. I'm just going to put a blue box in there. This is going back and been consolidating for quite a period of time right now. We were saying it could possibly putting in a bottom over here, this resistance, break above it, retest it, and confirm it into support and resume off of it. That's an entry signal. Look right now what's happening though right now. When I say look what's happening right now, you can see over here that you're getting a possible entry. Look at this, right? So I talked about this briefly yesterday. I'm talking about it again right now. Sometimes when you have the level right here, that's resistance, and you get that up price bar touching resistance, and then the next bar makes the entry, that's a good trade. It's a good trade. It's an entry. I said that I wish I had a name for it because it's very specific looking, right? Is that a trade I would take on a Friday morning, New York time? No. If this was occurring overnight during London, would I have taken that trade? Not going into Friday. First of all, before New York opens, London session on Friday is fantastic. By the time New York gets to work over here, there's not too much time left in the trading day. I tend to stand aside. If this was happening during another day, I might be more apt to take it. By the way, if this broke out over here, made the higher high and broke out, would I feel FOMO like I'm missing that trade? Not at all. What I would be doing would be waiting for the retest and the resumption, and if it's successful, as a place to enter. There was another one we wanted to look at. It was the euro. I lost you. Yeah, right? Especially trading if you're into equity markets, if you're into the public markets, by the way, if you are, right, like can slim, volume on the breakout, it's all important. But again, equity markets, in my opinion, are very inferior markets. Yeah, Dale, that's awesome. Thank you. Last try, Kent. First of all, don't take it personally. When I say that, I mean, I'm looking at the charts. I'm going over the charts, and I'm trying to give everyone a few different things. I'm trying to give them a clearer perspective of how they view the market themselves from the charts that I'm going over analyzing. At the same time, I'm also giving people an education. Regardless, if I'm looking at the euro Australian dollar and showing you what's going on, that's relative if you're looking at Apple stock or XM or anything else. Because at the end of the day, you're trading price off support and resistance with the help of trend lines and chart patterns. It's all the same thing. All right. Now, Ken, you also have people who commit their time and energy and are in here day over day, month over month, right? Right. So, of course, naturally, it's not a bias. If I see their question, I'm more apt to take a look at it. You jump in and you start asking stuff. Later in the session, after we got our analysis over the way, it's easier to look at questions. But as I'm not able to follow people's questions as I'm watching the charts, analyzing them, and trying to bring clarity to myself and anyone else watching. All right. That being said, do I trade on fundamentals without price technicals? Never. 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 Because you could fundamentals are so important. I'm always aware of, understand, and know the fundamentals, but it's only when the technicals line up that you have that important edge. Otherwise, you could be like Jim Rogers and correct, but on the wrong side of a trade for so long. And Jim is the first to admit it. His timing is terrible. That's because he doesn't follow the technicals. He just goes in off the fundamentals. So you want to line up the fundamentals and the technicals, but you don't want to take a trade just based on the fundamentals when the technicals are showing you otherwise. Otherwise, you're just you're handicapping yourself. You're handicapping yourself. All right. Let's take a look over here. Market's been open 10 minutes. Market's resuming down back towards the low of the session. I wouldn't have taken the S&P myself, but anyone who went short off the test of the resistance, the resumption down, just hanging out with a stop loss at break even. Nasdaq, you would have got stopped out, right? Nasdaq people would have got stopped out. Is that fine? Yeah, good work. But there's nothing wrong. Like taking a trade and then first of all, if you get stopped out of the trade, like for a full stop, no big deal. That's what you do. You have to expect that's going to happen, and probably around 40% of the time, if not 45% of the time, right? You could even do it 50% of the time and a little bit more and be profitable. So you have to be willing to take those small stops all the time, and you can't let that get to you. And there's going to be some periods when the markets are consolidating and or choppy. This past week, when you're going to get stopped out maybe more than once, maybe a few times, and you're seeing your equity curve go like this, right? That is during consolidation. If you're able to do that, stay mentally tough. Stay mentally tough, because what happens next is that the markets are going to go from that consolidation into a expansion phase. And as the markets hit that expansion phase, so is your P&L. All right? You can't expect this. That's not how it works. So you got to have that mental fortitude. Dow, best look. This was, again, during we said this was the best looking trade of the bunch. It was the best looking wave, right? And so far, it's actually giving the most room over here. Stop loss should be at break even. It's a free trade. Free's good, right? Nothing else really to make note of over here. Nothing's really moved. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Hey, thanks for everyone being here and sharing on this. It's Friday. I gotta kind of look at the markets because there's not much going on. By the way, we're now 42 minutes in. The first 24 minutes was fire. There is an enormous amount to be learned just from that, and that happens every day. It depends on what the market's doing, what our focus is on. There's not like, give me these 10 rules and I'll be successful. No, it's how about let me commit my time, invest in myself, and learn a skill set that unfolds every day, and we learn every day, more and more. It's like picking up these hidden gems as they come. I haven't looked at that in ages. Let's take a look at it. This is only, by the way, going back to 2016, right? May. We know if this went all the way back, what that looks like. What does that look like? It looks like this, right? So, I mean, look, you don't need me or anyone else to tell you what exactly is going on over here, right? It's very similar to the Euro US dollar chart, the Bitcoin US dollar chart, by the way, though. Although it's actually more bullish, more bullish. Bullisher, more bullish. But here you go. You got finally the breakout, the retest, and now you're about to even get the resumption up over there. That's on a 3-day chart, by the way, right? And a breakout above right there. You see all that was support, resistance right over there. That's a log scale chart right now, by the way. Sending it. It looks beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. That's a log scale. Same difference. Same difference, right? Beautiful looking chart. Who would not buy that? Who would not buy that? Who's buying equities, right? Who would not buy that? Yeah, we can take a look at Zoom. Stratosphere. It's over there, right? Breakout, retest, resumption, retest, resumption. Over here, breakout, retest. Came back, touched the end of the channel support, broke out over there. Here you didn't even get a pullback. So I mean, Zoom, Rex, there's not much to add to the conversation. We all know why Zoom is zooming, right? It's because of this new situation we're in, right? Everyone, schools is using, companies, everyone's using Zoom conference. I pay for a subscription on Zoom just to have a backup for the live streams. The software we use is better, but we've used Zoom for months on this channel over here. Do I think that the demand is going to continue? Yeah. Look, follow what's going on the indexes, by the way. Right? Follow what's going on in the indexes right away. And by the way, when I talk about follow what's going on in the indexes, right? Are we seeing any type of this is how the markets sell off. The markets very rarely sell off. We saw it back in December of 2018. Let me come back into it. Right over here. Like, this is the market selling off, right? This was during the crisis. This was like a layup. This is the market selling off. When the markets sell off, the markets sell off. The markets during this whole stimulus tantrum have not been selling off with any type of authority. Actually, after the melt up, it's quite normal. Right, this is when I said now's the time to get out of the markets. And what kind of pullback have we seen from that price to here? Not even a 3.5% pullback. This is very controlled, and I continue to see this over here. By the way, I continue to see this. Right, a breakout above here could even happen next week. That could send this thing. Up. Zoom over here. Right. Am I a buyer of Zoom? There's zero chance of that. But people holding. Do you have any reason to get out? I don't think so. That's not exciting, though. Let's also take a look at Tesla this morning here together. What's going on with these lines? This is not what my chart looked like yesterday. Right? What happened here? I don't know. That's not what my chart looked like yesterday when we did our live stream. I don't know what all that nonsense is over there. Right now on Tesla, I mean, I'm just going to hope it comes back. Maybe if I refresh my chart, it comes back. Let's see. Let me cross my fingers here. Nope. Well, I'll figure that out later. Tesla right now, I'm looking. Right now, this was big resistance. There's a line over here. Man, I can't believe this happened. Hold on one second. Oh, is that it? Log scale? Thank you. Sprout, Mr. Blue Box. Thank you. All right. So, clear as day, right? Tesla held this support over here, right? So, I'm looking at this area over here, the breakout. We were watching this all together. We were watching this over here. And what did we say? We said, whichever way this breaks out is the next way to take a trade on Tesla. It broke down, came into the support. I'm looking at that as resistance right now. I'd be watching that as resistance. If it's rejected, it's a good place. It's a great looking place to short Tesla. Now, if we don't get the rejection, or maybe we get the rejection and then we bounce back up, once you clear above this trend line over here, let's extend it down like that. And I'm going to keep it there so we could all track it and watch it. That would be the next place to go long on Tesla again. You got to trade it from both sides right now. Let me put a nice clean trend line in over there, and I can keep it here so that we could watch that as this takes place. All right, I'm just gonna go like this. I could put it down all the way over here. Now, I would not be looking to go long on Tesla again until we broke off above that trend line. Right now, the play on Tesla, in my opinion, I'm not here giving you signals. I'm giving you analysis, telling you how I look at the market, and either that's going to be like, yeah, I agree with that, or actually I don't agree with that, and I see actually this support here held, and now we're resuming off of that. I want to buy Tesla here. This is just to give you clarity. Take it as you see it. I would be looking to sell Tesla into that resistance over there, offer a rejection. And if we broke this trend line, that's where I would look to buy it. And this will be the last individual stock we look at over here this morning. We'll take a look at also at Amazon, and we'll see over here that we have so far just holding this area of support. I'm sorry, I need to look at Apple also. This is in jeopardy. I'll go back to Amazon in 1 second. I don't have a clear read. All as I see is this. I see the lower highs and the higher lows being made. Everyone knows what that means. This thing could break either way. I think Apple is tradable either which way. This is a big area. I don't know if you want to call it support or resistance right now because you're right at it and you're just consolidating on both sides of it. But, you know, you could just even move those away to give yourself a little room. A breakout one way or the other, that leads to a very good trade on Apple because a breakdown, you're targeting down over here at 95.5. A breakout, I mean, you don't even know, you're holding and seeing what happens. So with that in mind, looking at Amazon, I see a very similar structure, except Amazon looks healthier, consolidating above the support, right? You see the lower highs, the higher lows, prices consolidating, right? So you could see, I wouldn't say if this breaks out to the downside, take that short. I wouldn't say that at all. You can see the peak down over here, and that's also where we move down over there. So I have the support over there because of this area over here, which is many more touches. It's an important area, but I'm going to clone this and put it down over there because I would not be looking for a bigger retrace on Amazon unless it broke down below 28.82. So that's the difference over there. Square, okay, I can't pass up Square only because I so support them. Someone asked me, is that a Head and Shoulders, which is why those are there. I don't think it's a Head and Shoulders. So a lot of people really get into trouble trying to predict Head and Shoulder patterns before they're there. So the greatest insight I could give you into that is do not trade a Head and Shoulders until actually it's breaking the neckline. When you're forming a possible right shoulder, some people like start getting short thinking, oh, if I get short now, I'll be making more money by the time it breaks the neckline. And if that sounds familiar and you've ever done that, you probably know that doesn't end well. That's because you're taking a trade before you have the confirmation. The actual trigger is that little bit of an edge you're looking for to increase your overall win ratio. So I get caught up in the comments over there for a second. Could I share my Tesla chart? Let me take a picture right here. Boom. SPX Head and Shoulders. Let's take a look. I have no idea. So, like, are you looking left shoulder, head, and then a right shoulder over there? Max, I don't think so. And if it was, where's your neckline? Let me go to a daily time frame. It might be easier to see. Not really. Let me go to a 3-day time frame. I mean, is this head, left shoulder, head? There's no right shoulder. So I don't think so at all. And again, Max, just go back to what we said. It's not a Head and Shoulders until you're actually breaking that neckline. Then that's the entry signal, and then that's the time to enter. All right. So result in. I mean, just Google that. Just Google that. I'm going to go ahead and... When I say Google, I don't mean use Google, by the way. I just mean use the search engine. Don't use Google. All right. What else is going on over there? Let's take nothing's really moving this morning. Everything's dollar is only firming up. That's all I see. Why the dollar is firming up? Bitcoin is maintaining. Nasdaq is turning back down a little. Anyone who took that Nasdaq trade, is just they're stopped out at break even. What do you do? Oh, so pretend this for a second. Pretend you took that trade, and again, that on the three indexes, it was clear that the Dow was the best looking of the bunch, right? All three had that same trade. I'll talk about that analogy in 1 second. If you took this trade and then you went into the area of support, and obviously you know that like right now the markets are choppy, so you want to be a little bit extra protective. You move your stop loss appropriately so to break even, price retraced and stopped you out, and now price comes back down and resumes down to the low of the day. Do not sell. Do not sell. That's a very bad move. That means you have FOMO, that you feel like you're missing out, and you don't realize that the market's always going to be there and there's always opportunity, and you're chasing momentum and you're selling right into support. Don't do that. Wait for this support to break down. Wait for a retrace. Let's see if that's confirmed into resistance and then take that short. That's a better trade and a better time next week. So a lot of people, they feel like putting that pressure on yourself only leads to ruin. Just take a step back. There is no next entry on the Nasdaq. There is no next entry on the Nasdaq at all. I don't know. Let's wait and see until it develops. But there is no next entry on the Nasdaq, right? Right now, there's nothing happening. So there's nothing happening whatsoever. Another retest of that resistance, a retest of this resistance over here, this trend line, those rejections of those would offer opportunities. I'm not buying, not until we take back, at least this trend line over here. That could change depending on, what happens next week and the week after. But in front of us right now, there is no next entry. Oh man, David, is that right? You were depressed? Man, David was depressed until he sold his car, and a friend introduced him to Hacker Mediacs on Insta. And I got 10 Bitcoin. That's amazing. 100%. My name is David. Wow, David, that's amazing, brother. Let me go check it out. Let me go if I send 10 Bitcoin, do I get 10 Bitcoin back? Is that how that works? I feel like if scammers would use their dedication towards building something useful, they would do extraordinarily well. Yeah, I'm glad to share it, Yashin. I'm glad to share it with all of you. I feel like we're kind of in autopilot this morning, right? We got a lot out of the way this morning. I didn't hear about new stimulus checks. I heard yesterday that what did I hear? This is since yesterday afternoon. A lot could have happened in the past 12 hours for sure, Sam. But the last I heard that the Democrats floated a new idea, which was a $2.2 trillion stimulus plan, and that seemed to be really far away from the Republicans' $500 million stimulus plan, which I think they were willing to go up to $1 trillion. But I think that also the particulars of both sides of the aisle were very far apart. So it doesn't look like they're coming to any type of agreement. Is it a wild card if the Treasury sends out direct payments, whether it's legal or not? It's probably not legal, by the way. But does that mean that they won't do it and then fight the consequences in the court afterwards? I mean, it's a wild card. I would assume that it's possible, and it would happen probably the closer we got to the election that we could see that executive order. Again, legal or not, I don't know. That's right, Terry. Yeah, well, Thomas, it was 2.3 trillion. Yesterday they floated, they compromised down to 2.2 trillion. They floated that idea out there, which obviously means there's no interest whatsoever, right? All right, let's take a look around over here. You could see silver actually retracing up as the dollar is bid here right now since we've got on here this last hour. Gold also. By the way, is it possible that silver and gold could rise with a rising dollar? 100% absolutely, which is why I say If gold or silver regains, don't follow the DXY when it comes to that. If gold regains this trend line over here, technically it's back into its bullish structure. I'll be looking to buy again. Silver's got a lot more work to do, obviously. Silver has to regain this area over here. Right now it's coming in at 24.50. It's got a lot of work to do. But if either one of those regain their bullish structure, regardless of what the dollar's doing, I'm going to be following what's happening on their individual charts. Don't forget, back in the beginning of the year, back in middle of December, January 1st, up until the end of February, the dollar was skyrocketing. You see the dollar right over here skyrocketing up to 100. And what was gold doing down in that same exact period over here? Gold was skyrocketing stronger than the dollar. So both could rise. Do not think that a strong dollar is going to definitely mean weaker precious metals prices. This could be a major fake out. Right now, stand aside on the paper markets, right? Wait for that bullish structure to return. That's the difference between, trading off the fundamentals and trading off the technicals and the fundamentals. Could you put a line under gold without the March low? Without the March low? Like cloning this trend line? Same setup happening on silver. Yeah, I think Binance's coin BNB has some really good use cases. A lot of projects are being built on top of it. You have Binance themselves continuously out of profits burning the supply. I think it's one of the more promising altcoins by far. I think it's one of the more promising altcoins. It had an enormous run during the bear market, which is probably why I haven't looked at it in months. Let me take a look at it. It's not on Binance. Hold on one second. There you go. Binance. All right. I remember when this thing went, right, from basically zero and then ran up all the way to 36. Was it trading at 24 right now? Yeah, I think it's going to do fantastic during the bull market. I think it's going to do fantastic during the bull market. I think it actually has. I think the Binance team is phenomenal. One of the best teams with one of the best CEOs in all industries across the world. And I think it'll do great. All right, what else are we looking at over here? It's kind of a quiet session over here. So fast forward to this weekend. I don't think I'm ready to do the Bitcoin video on how to trade during the bull market. That's okay. That's going to come. There is no rush whatsoever. We're only trading at 10,000. Well, depending on what happens later today, I'll either give an update later or not. Right now, the markets are kind of mellow. There's not really, so far, like everything is just really like it's Friday and we're not keying off of anything. We digested a lot of material this week with Mnuchin and Powell and all the Fed speakers out there. We got some, the markets were choppy this week. Nothing that really is going on to add to the conversation. That's okay. Strawberry jam. I sent you a Twitter direct message about my findings. All wedges and triangles lead to October 27 for a breakdown. I don't know. Maybe. I haven't seen it though. I'll check it out. I'll look for the direct message you sent me and look for what you're talking about to see what you're talking about. But I don't right now, Strawberry. We could talk about that on Monday. I don't necessarily know what you're talking about right now. I don't. Are you talking about Bitcoin? I have no idea what you're talking about. I will look for the direct message. We'll talk about it on Monday. We'll just, or I'll get back to you. I'm glad you're here, Ken. So, first of all, looking forward to working more closely with you. And we have a training session on Tuesday, Ken. On Monday, you'll get an email about that. I hope you're able to make it. If not, you'll have the replay. I'm going to be working remotely all next week, but we'll be maintaining our regular schedules and times with our live streams in the morning and our updates in the afternoon. That's for sure. There's a link below in the description below, and you could just go into the description of this video and you'll see the information right there. All right. That's priceless. That makes me laugh. You too, Shane, and everyone. Have a beautiful week. And I don't know whether or not I'll have an update video because I don't normally on Friday, right? I definitely won't tomorrow. I'm traveling tomorrow. So if I don't put one out, or if I don't at least go ahead and film it, then it won't be one this weekend, and then we won't have anything until Monday morning when we go live. But we will keep our regular schedule all of next week, including our training sessions with the Conquering the Markets group. Sean, before I went live this morning, I got on my knees before the cross and I said, I pray to God, please, may they hear you. Thank you, Sean, for that message, brother. Both. I believe owning Bitcoin in a hardware wallet is a smart move. I also own Bitcoin on BlockFi, collecting interest. You have to have your risk profile, and you have to spread that out. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Don't keep all your Bitcoin in one basket. Ray, the yearly offers a discount, right? If you're first of all, if you're all of a sudden finding success and putting up consistent profits, you're going to stick around, that's for sure, right? The education's invaluable. You get a discount on the yearly, as well as you are working directly with me, sending me your recaps and when needed, getting direct feedback. I don't know. I think leverage could be dangerous. Yeah, I've been trading full time for 20 years, but I'm not here to tell you my trades for you to piggyback. Snake dagger. If that's what you're looking for. This is to teach people how to trade on their own, and I have an extraordinary track record doing that. Thank you, Giles. Cheers, brother. Thank you. Ruben, definitely looking forward to it, brother. Looking forward to working with you, to helping you get there. Turn that corner to profitability, and then get to consistently profitable. Thank you. Oh man, that was 17 years ago I left IB 17 years ago. And I left when I went full time into FX. When I went full time into Forex, I left IB 17 years ago. Yeah, we did. I think we did. We gave a good look at it. It was towards the later part of the stream. If you look back, you pull back on the live stream until you see in the center of the screen where it says Euro, Australian dollar. Watch that on the replay. You'll get a good look at it. I will, Strawberry. Rough. We'll do it on Monday, or you could send me a Twitter chart of it. You can tag me in a Twitter chart. Gibbs, waiting for the next update for the little bit longer track. Please send it to us. Have a good weekend. Me too. I thank you for that. I did too. Max, I love it. Thank you so much. I love it. You're going to have the best time next week. I'm so excited for that. Ken, thanks for that, brother. Thank you, Ken. Always being 1,000 likes on this short stream. That's amazing. Oh, we didn't hit 1,000, but oh, it's all good. Almost. Milty, we're going to get there eventually, brother. We're going to get to 100K eventually. Thanks for being there always. Everyone, have a beautiful weekend. I look forward to sharing more with you on Monday. You too, Karina. Have a beautiful weekend. That's right. Love to everybody, Nabel. Love to everybody, for sure. For sure. Ivan, we'll talk about it next week. That's all right, Joseph. That's the way to approach the markets. Right? Zoltan, good weekend. Juan, nah, gracias, amigo. Thank you very much. Peace. Right back at you, brother. That's right. Spread joy. Spread cheer. By the way, that's where happiness comes from. Spread love. Right? You have to give to receive. Where there's no love, pour love. And then you'll draw out massive love. Which part of Mexico am I most bullish on? So many beautiful areas. So many beautiful areas, right? Matt, have a good weekend over there. How do you do a super message? Joel, I have no idea. I'm not sure how to do the super message. I see people share them from time to time. I don't know. Is it at the top right of the chat box? Tony, we're headed to the beach. We're taking the youngest with us, the twins, the 3 older ones, all 5 of them. They're going to have a great time. Used car prices, are they still up? Yes, I hold trades all the time over the weekend in FX. I hold trades all the time over the weekend in FX. If you get a gap though that misses your stop loss, you're going to get filled not where the stop would have triggered, but where the gap opens. There is risk. Always know your risk. Right? Back in 2012, when the Cyprus, when they took 30% of people's, I don't know, remember exactly what it was anymore, 30% of people's funds directly from their bank accounts, JPY had huge gaps. So there are risk events for sure. Thank you, Tom. I do too also. Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you very much. Luke. Overtrading is one of the biggest causes of failures for traders. On FX, I average 3 trades a week, and over the last 3 weeks, it has been less than that. Thoughts on the March low? Brad shared these beautiful charts here. Let me step back for a second and see which one it is. Look over here. Brad shared these beautiful. Oh, you're talking about the March low over here? It could be. We looked at that actually yesterday on the afternoon video, and we pointed out that level. But 95.20 is the bigger resistance. I'm more focused on the bigger resistance. And again, it would not be abnormal, by the way. It would not be abnormal for us to come back and even test that support line again. So you're in no man's land. That's the support. That's the resistance, 95.20, right? Dollar firm. I don't enter Friday Forex trades by the time New York has come to play. Overnight in London, I do on Friday. Boom. Pan, welcome. Pam, looking forward to Tuesday's live training with you. Hope you get to make it. Lawrence. Everyone, have a beautiful weekend. And I'll talk to you soon. I don't know if I'll have an update over the weekend or not, but I'll definitely see you all on Monday morning. And we'll take it from there. Thanks, everybody.